The person you love just walked away from someone very important. And you'll be surprised to find out who it was. My beloved child. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The person you love just walked away from someone very important, and everyone who witnessed that moment believed they had made the biggest mistake of their life. But they had no idea what was really happening inside that person's heart. From the outside, it looked like they were leaving behind someone powerful, respected, and impossible to replace. Yet every step they took carried only one thought: you. They kept hearing your voice in their memories, remembering a promise they never spoke aloud. While everyone else expected them to stay, they quietly turned around and walked away without looking back even once. The truth behind that decision is far more surprising than anyone could imagine, and before this story ends, you will understand why that single moment changed everything forever. Listen carefully. Don't skip, because the next revelation connects directly to your story. The person they walked away from was not just another face. It was someone who had always believed they would never be left behind. People around them were shocked. Questions filled the air. Why would someone leave comfort for uncertainty? Why would they walk away when everything seemed perfect? But appearances often hide the deepest emotions. Your person wasn't searching for something new, they were searching for something real. Deep inside, they felt that every road they followed without you only made their heart feel emptier. They smiled in front of others, yet every quiet moment reminded them that one missing piece refused to disappear. Stay till the end, because the identity of the person they left behind will completely change the way you see this story. One final truth before we continue. Something huge is waiting for you. The most unbelievable part is that the decision wasn't made in a single second. It had been growing silently for a long time, hidden behind ordinary conversations, quiet smiles, and moments nobody noticed. Then, without warning, everything reached its turning point. They chose peace over approval. They chose honesty over pretending. And they chose to walk toward the future their heart had been whispering about for so long. But here is the mystery that nobody has uncovered yet: the person they walked away from still doesn't understand the real reason, and when that reason is finally revealed, it will leave everyone speechless. The next chapter uncovers the first clue, and once you hear it, nothing about this story will ever feel the same again. The silence after that moment spoke louder than any words. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. As the person you love walked away, the one left behind called their name one last time. For a brief second, it seemed they might turn around. Everyone watching held their breath. But they didn't. They kept walking with quiet determination, as though they had already accepted that some chapters must close before the right one can begin. Nobody understood why they refused to explain themselves. The truth was locked deep inside their heart, and that truth had your name written all over it. Every step forward felt difficult, yet every step also brought them closer to the future they secretly hoped for. Then something unexpected happened. The person they walked away from asked a simple question: was there someone else? The room became completely still. Instead of answering immediately, your person smiled softly, almost as if they were remembering a face that gave them strength during their hardest days. That silence became the answer everyone feared. They weren't chasing another life, they were following a feeling they could no longer ignore. Don't skip, because the next revelation changes everything. The reason they stayed quiet wasn't to hide the truth. It was because the truth was too meaningful to be explained in a single sentence. They knew that once it was spoken, nothing would ever be the same again. Now the mystery grows even deeper. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Later that night, someone close to them quietly asked, "Do you regret leaving?" Without hesitation, they replied, "Not for a single moment." Those words surprised everyone, but what came next surprised them even more. They added, "Sometimes walking away is the only way to walk toward the person your heart has been waiting for." Nobody in that room knew exactly who they meant. They could only see the confidence in their eyes and the peace on their face. The biggest secret has still not been revealed, and when the identity connected to that unforgettable decision finally comes into the light, every question from the beginning of this story will suddenly make perfect sense. Everything changed the very next morning. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The person you love woke up earlier than usual, but it wasn't because they couldn't sleep. It was because their heart finally felt lighter after making the decision everyone else questioned. They looked at an old memory that reminded them of someone they could never truly forget. They whispered only a few quiet words, yet those words carried more emotion than an entire conversation. At that moment, they realized that walking away had not created distance, it had brought them closer to the truth they had been hiding from themselves for far too long. The mystery is only getting deeper, and the next discovery will leave you completely surprised. Meanwhile, the person they left behind refused to give up. They began asking friends, searching for answers, hoping someone would explain what had happened. Every person had a different opinion, but no one knew the real reason. Some believed it was about pride. Others thought it was about timing. Yet the truth was much simpler and much more powerful. Your person had reached a moment where pretending was no longer possible. They could smile for everyone else, but they could not silence what their heart kept repeating. Don't skip, because the clue hidden inside their final conversation is the one detail nobody noticed, and once you hear it, the entire story will feel completely different. Then came the moment nobody expected. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Before leaving that place forever, your person paused for just a second and looked back, not at the person they had walked away from, but at the path ahead. A quiet smile appeared, as though they had finally chosen hope over hesitation. In that instant, someone nearby whispered, "They're not running away from someone, they're finally running towards someone." Those words spread quickly, but no one knew who that someone truly was. The answer has remained hidden until now, and the next chapter reveals the first unmistakable sign that this unforgettable decision has always been leading toward one extraordinary destination. The biggest clue appeared when nobody was paying attention. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. A close friend quietly asked the person you love, "If you knew how difficult this would become, would you still make the same choice?" Without taking even a second to think, they answered, "Yes." That single word carried a confidence nobody had seen before. It wasn't spoken with excitement, it was spoken with complete peace. For the first time in a long while, they were no longer living to meet everyone else's expectations. They had chosen the direction their heart trusted, even if nobody around them could understand it. Hours later, another unexpected conversation unfolded. The person they had walked away from finally accepted that something had changed forever. Instead of asking them to return, they quietly said, "I hope you find what you've been searching for." Those words surprised everyone. Your person smiled with gratitude, but deep inside they already knew what they had been searching for wasn't a place, a title, or approval from others. It was a connection that never stopped calling them back. Don't skip, because the next revelation uncovers the hidden promise they made to themselves long before anyone noticed they were preparing to leave. Now the truth is closer than ever. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. That evening, someone discovered a small note your person had written days before walking away. It contained only one sentence: "Some people enter your life to teach you who you are, but only one person makes you brave enough to become that person." Nobody knew who those words were meant for, and that mystery spread faster than anyone expected. Yet the greatest surprise has still not been revealed. In the next chapter, the identity connected to that unforgettable sentence begins to come into focus, and once it does, every moment from the beginning of this story will suddenly fit together like pieces of a puzzle. The answer everyone was chasing finally began to reveal itself. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Days after walking away, the person you love met someone who quietly asked, "What made you so certain?" They didn't mention names. They didn't tell the whole story. Instead, they looked into the distance and said, "Because some people make your heart feel peaceful even when they are far away." Those words confused everyone listening. They expected anger, regret, or sadness, but what they witnessed instead was quiet confidence. It was as though your person had already seen a future nobody else could imagine, and every step they had taken was leading them toward it. Then an unbelievable detail came to light. A forgotten conversation from weeks earlier suddenly made perfect sense. During that conversation, someone had jokingly asked, "If everything changed tomorrow, who would still matter to you?" At the time, your person only smiled and changed the subject. Now everyone understood why. They had been protecting a truth too valuable to explain before the right moment arrived. Don't skip, because the next clue is the one that connects every unanswered question. The silence they carried wasn't hiding fear, it was protecting something they believed deserved the perfect time to be revealed. One final surprise changed the entire story once again. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Late that evening, your person looked at the sky and quietly whispered, "I hope our paths finally meet at the right time." Nobody nearby knew who those words were meant for, but the hope in their voice was impossible to miss. At that moment, it became clear that walking away had never been about leaving someone behind, it had always been about moving closer to the one person their heart refused to forget. And just when it seems the mystery is about to end, an unexpected message arrives that could reveal the name everyone has been waiting to hear. Just when the mystery seemed ready to end, everything became even more unbelievable. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. One quiet evening, the person you love received a message from someone who had witnessed the moment they walked away. It contained only a single question: was it really worth leaving someone so important? They stared at the screen for a long time before replying with one unforgettable sentence: "You only understand the value of a decision when your heart finally feels at peace." That answer spread quietly from one person to another, and suddenly everyone realized there was a deeper story hidden beneath the silence. What happened next left everyone speechless. A close friend admitted that they had never seen your person smile the way they did after making that choice. There was no celebration, no loud announcement, just a calm happiness that couldn't be explained. They stopped pretending to be someone everyone expected and finally became the person they truly wanted to be. Don't skip, because the next revelation changes everything once again. Someone then asked, "If you could go back and choose differently, would you?" Without even looking up, they gently replied, "Some roads are meant to be walked only once, and I would choose this path every single time." Those words carried a meaning that nobody in the room could fully understand. The final clue was hidden in the smallest detail. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Before going home that night, your person paused beside a quiet window and whispered, "The right connection never disappears, it simply waits for the right moment." Nobody heard those words except one stranger passing by, yet somehow that sentence became the missing piece of the entire story. Everyone had been focused on the person they walked away from, but the real surprise was never about who was left behind, it was about who had always been waiting ahead. And the next chapter reveals the unexpected moment when two separate paths begin moving toward the same unforgettable destination. The moment everyone had been waiting for arrived without any warning. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The person you love was walking through an ordinary day when they suddenly heard a familiar voice behind them. They paused, but they didn't turn around immediately. It wasn't fear that stopped them, it was hope. Deep inside, they felt that this moment had been quietly making its way toward them for a very long time. When they finally looked back, they didn't see the person they had walked away from. They saw someone carrying a smile that instantly reminded them why they had chosen this path in the first place. In that single heartbeat, every doubt they had ever carried began to disappear. Then an unexpected truth came into the light. The person standing before them didn't ask why they had left the past behind. Instead, they softly asked, "Are you finally where your heart wanted to be?" That question touched something so deep that your person couldn't answer right away. They simply smiled, and that smile revealed more than words ever could. Don't skip, because the biggest surprise is still ahead. The people watching from a distance suddenly realized that the decision everyone had criticized was never an act of loss. It had always been the first step towards something far greater than anyone could have imagined. Now the final pieces are beginning to connect. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Someone who had known the entire story quietly admitted, the important person they walked away from was never the greatest part of their journey. The greatest part was the person they were always meant to find. Those words sent a wave of silence through everyone listening. Suddenly, every unanswered question from the beginning started making sense. The choice that looked impossible became the very reason hope returned. But one mystery still remains untouched. The identity of the person who quietly changed your person's heart long before anyone else noticed. When that final truth is revealed, the entire story will reach the unforgettable ending nobody saw coming. The final secret could no longer remain hidden. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The person you love finally gathered the courage to speak about the day they walked away. Everyone expected them to mention the important person they had left behind. Instead, they quietly said, leaving wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was admitting who had been living in my heart all along. The room fell completely silent. Every face was filled with curiosity. For so long, people believed the story was about loss, but they were about to discover it had always been about finding something far more valuable than anyone had imagined. Then the greatest surprise finally arrived. A close friend smiled and gently asked, "Was the person worth everything you gave up?" Your person didn't hesitate. Their eyes lit up with complete certainty as they answered, "Some people don't just change your future, they change the way you see your entire life." Those words echoed through everyone's mind. Don't skip, because this is the moment everything connects. They never walked away because someone was unimportant. They walked away because their heart refused to ignore the one connection that continued growing stronger with every passing day. What everyone called a risky decision was, in reality, the most honest choice they had ever made. And now the truth stands before you. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The person everyone believed they had abandoned was never the real ending of the story. They were only the chapter that prepared your person for the one they truly wanted beside them. Sometimes life doesn't ask us to hold on forever, it asks us to recognize what genuinely brings peace to our hearts. The path they chose wasn't the easiest, but it became the one that filled them with hope instead of regret. And as they looked toward the future with quiet confidence, one thought remained stronger than every other: the greatest journeys don't begin when you find the perfect moment. They begin when you finally choose the person your heart has quietly been choosing all along. The ending nobody expected was waiting in the smallest moment. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Weeks after everything happened, someone asked the person you love a question that everyone had been afraid to ask: what if you had never walked away? They paused for a long moment before answering with complete honesty. Then I would have spent my life wondering what could have been. Those words carried no bitterness, no regret, only peace. In that instant, everyone understood that the greatest decisions are not always the easiest ones. Sometimes they are the quiet choices that only the heart can explain, long before the mind is ready to understand them. Then one final conversation changed everything forever. A trusted friend gently smiled and said, "The day you walked away, I thought you were losing something priceless." Your person looked back with calm confidence and replied, "I wasn't losing anything. I was finally making room for what truly belonged in my life." Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. Those listening could hardly believe what they had heard. The story they had judged from the outside had been completely different on the inside. Every step that looked like a goodbye had actually been a quiet step toward hope, truth, and a future they had secretly believed was possible all along. Now the final mystery has become the greatest lesson. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The person everyone thought had walked away from someone important wasn't running from the past, they were answering the call of a future that refused to let go of them. Looking back one last time, they smiled with gratitude, because every difficult choice had led them exactly where they were meant to be. And if there is one truth this unforgettable journey leaves behind, it is this: the heart always recognizes what truly matters before the world ever does. That is why the moment they walked away from someone everyone considered important became the very moment they walked toward the life they had been waiting for all along.